It is Thursday. That means we have a vet on hand to answer your pet questions. So if you have a problem with your pet, you can give us a call right now. The number is 918-460-KJRH. And this week we have Dr. Jessica Zink here to answer your questions. And she's brought along Dan this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Dan's shivering.
Yeah, that's kind of a breed thing, but he's pretty sweet boy.
Thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So cute, though. How was he found?
He was actually hit by a car and unfortunately put in a dumpster afterwards. And so he was retrieved and Animal Aid took him. And he had kind of a minor head injury, but other than that, he was doing okay. So.
No, you wouldn't know it by looking at him. He looks great.
No broken bones or anything. Just a little bit of some walking difficulties, but that's improved and he's ready to be adopted.
And where can folks find Dan?
At Arrow Springs.
Arrow Springs. Do you know the number there by chance?
Oh gosh, not off the top of my head.
You do know the website though, right? It's
yes.
animalaid.org.
Yes.
So that's the best place to find Dan. They could probably also call Heritage Veterinary Hospital and they could help you find Dan as well. Let's get to our callers. First up we have Tim in Tulsa. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning.
What's your question?
I've got a cat, and he likes to get up underneath cars and stuff, and gets all dirty and greasy. And, you know, I'd like to wash my cat. It traumatizes him, and besides that, he attacks me. But, like, is there any alternative, or how can I do this without traumatizing my animal?
Well, and that's a good question. A lot of times, most kitties in general, they really don't like to be bathed. My cat is not an exception. But I will say that a lot of times it helps if you can take them to a veterinary hospital where they either have a groomer or they have someone there that's trained to bathe kitties. And then a lot of times they can give them a little bit of sedation, and that will really reduce the stress level that's involved with bathing them.
Cats don't seem to like getting wet too much, do they?
Nope.
Next up, we have Valencia in Tulsa. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your question?
Yes, I have a question. I actually don't have a pet, but I was thinking about buying one for my son for Christmas. And I was wondering, is it best to adopt a pet, or is it best to, like, get one out the paper?
Well, and that's a good question too. You know, there's a lot of different resources out there as far as trying to find a pet for adoption. There's all kinds of things that you can investigate. Of course, Animal Aid is a big one here in Tulsa, but you can go on various websites. There's petfinder.com. There is you know, newspaper ads and things like that you can explore. But I would definitely recommend going with a rescue group where you could go and meet that animal and then you know, get to know, you know, if that's going to be the right kind of personality fit for your family. Sometimes you can bring your dog, or, you know, if you have other pets at home, you can bring them and introduce them. But definitely, if you can go through that kind of a route, that's usually what's most highly recommended. All
right, next up we have Barbara in Tulsa. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your question?
I found a little stray cat a couple of years ago, and a friend of mine took it in, and she's been feeding it tuna every day, and giving it tuna juice to drink. Is that good for a cat?
It's not going to hurt him. It is a nice treat. You know,
tuna juice is a nice treat? I'm not sure about that.
It is for kitties. They sure love it. But in general, you know, as long as they have a good quality cat food diet, on top of that every now and then, I don't see a problem with it. It might cause a little bit of GI upset if they're not used to it, but no, it shouldn't cause a problem.
All right, thank you, Dr. Zink. And again, if you'd like to adopt Dan here, you can call Animal Aid as well at 918-744-8280 or log on to animalaid.org.